let me ask you directly, will you commit right now to handing over the requested agreement that the United States has entered into with El Salvador under your watch as required by law?
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're referring to. The United States, two things have happened. The first is El Salvador agreed to take back nationals, Salvadorian nationals, including the individual you mentioned. These are people that were in this country unlawfully, had MS-13 ties, and they were repatriated to their country.
Okay,
Then there was a group of gang members from Trinidad Agua in the United States, and he agreed to take them into his prison system. The United States, in addition to that, has provided law enforcement funding to El Salvador, which they are free to use any way they want. They can use it for their jail system. They can use it for other law enforcement functions. But that's the deal.
Hey everyone, glad to see you back on the channel. I'm Bran Cooper. Today we're diving into a situation where the real issue is transparency, not political bias. Marco Rubio is keeping Congress in the dark about a deal they're fully entitled to examine. When questioned about it during a hearing, he sidestepped instead of giving a straight answer. What really matters here is the precedent this sets. When our elected leaders hold back information that Congress has the right to access, it undermines the process of oversight itself. This isn't about scoring points in a debate. It's about whether accountability still works when tough questions come up. Let's get into it. The real impact of this confrontation stems from its historical context, not just the face-off itself. Representative Norma Torres brings Marco Rubio back to who he was in this narrative. Previously, when El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele, publicly attacked Torres and incited harassment and threats against her and her family, Rubio stood in support of her. He condemned these actions, recognizing the risk posed by authoritarian figures using threats and gangs to silence opposition. Torres revisits this history, not to seek pity, but to demand responsibility. Her home was defaced. Her family faced threats. A man even filmed a plot to assassinate her. U.S. prosecutors later alleged that Bukele had covert dealings with MS-13 leaders to cement his power and mask violence. This isn't just a distant policy issue, it's her real life. That's why her inquiry hits so hard. Torres expresses genuine bewilderment at Rubio's current actions. As Secretary of State, he's now shaking hands with Bukele, making deals with his government, and executing people transfers to El Salvador through agreements Congress has repeatedly requested but never seen. This leads to the constitutional concern. U.S. law requires that international agreements by the State Department be disclosed to Congress upon request. This oversight is crucial for democratic responsibility. Torres isn't asking for special treatment, she's invoking legal rights. Rubio's reply is revealing. He claims there's no secret deal, just standard protocols, deportations of Salvadoran citizens, transfers of suspected gang members that other nations reject, law enforcement funds that El Salvador uses as they choose. Essentially general excuses, but no documentation. Torres digs deeper, asking critical questions. Do these agreements give the U.S. any control over the transferred individuals in the future? Why were people sent to a prison system notorious for torture and inhumane conditions? Why was a murder suspect taken from the U.S. before trial, denying justice to the victim's family? These are not hypothetical issues. They challenge whether the U.S. is maintaining due process, human rights, and its constitutional duties, or if it's quietly offloading them to an authoritarian partner for political ease. The important takeaway is this: secrecy isn't neutral. Torres's final demand to simply see the agreement cuts to the heart of the matter. If the deal is legitimate, lawful, and justifiable, it can withstand examination. If not, the issue lies not with the questioning, but with the answers. This isn't about immigration buzzwords or foreign policy image-making. It's about whether Congress retains the power to check the executive branch, and if the U.S. can honestly claim to champion democracy internationally while allowing secrecy and autocratic ties at home. If this breakdown clarified the stakes for you, like the video so others can see it too. Subscribe for more analysis on hearings and accountability showdowns. I'll continue highlighting moments where power is put to the test, not just discussed.